Hi and welcome to this demonstration of the Invify invoice automation software. Today I will give you a quick demonstration of how the software works, and mainly we will go through how you teach a new invoice which is not recognized by the system automatically. As we go through, you will see that while we're talking, there are actually invoices being processed and gone through the system automatically without us doing anything. So what I will do now is that I will print out invoice to the system, which is at this point unknown. And you will see here in the batch field that the invoice comes up with the pre-processing status failed. And if we go down and look on the specific page, this actual invoice only has one single page, and the first page in this one is failed with no mapping. So what we'll do at this point is that I will simply just double click on the line, and that will open up the teaching tool. Okay, so now we would open up the teacher for the invoice, and as you'll see here, you'll find both a visual representation of the actual invoice and a list of fields which we're going to lift from the actual invoice. So I start by clicking the root here, which is called invoice, and I'll give this one a name, and I'll call it demo. Unfortunately, all these variables are in Swedish, but I'll try to explain them to you as we go through. So the first one here is actually invoice number. I select it and I locate the invoice number on the screen, and I simply double click it. As you will see, it will be marked with a blue square, or actually a rectangle in this case, indicating where we found it. And I'll go through the next one, which is invoice type. I'll go with the customer number. I'll take the invoice date, and as you see, I simply go through them all very quickly. I take the customer name and I find the customer address, and the address is actually a dynamic field, so I draw a box instead of double clicking, marking that within this box you will find the invoice address no matter how it looks like. I go with the delivery name and the delivery address. I do the same thing as I did with the invoice address. I don't have a delivery date, but I have delivery. I have delivery terms, payment terms. There is your reference field on this invoice. It happens to be empty, but I draw the box, letting the system know that this is where you'll find the reference, even if it's not here on this invoice. We have an order number, you have our reference, our order number, interest rate, which is not here. We have the net amount, we have the VAT, total amount, we have currency, we have shipping cost, and finally we will go through the invoice lines. So I start by drawing the actual invoice line area, and then I simply go through description, item number, count, unit price, row amount. And to end the whole thing up, I add a unique locator, which is something that you will only find on this particular customer. And a good one is also always the organization number and address. So I save it, I test it, and you will clearly see all the fields and all the information that has been written from the invoice. So now all I have to do is so we have now gone through the teaching process, and you will see that the invoice still has the status pre-processing failed, but if you look on the actual row, you'll find that the mapping is now set to demo. So what we will do now is that I will simply go up here and I will right click and I will select rerun batch, and what happens is that the system will do pre-processing the invoice and up it goes. And while we're doing this, you will see that again there's more invoices going through, and we can go through the history here and we will see a history list of all the invoices being processed. this goes actually back 90 days, and this is just for history purpose if you want to go back and look at an old invoice. For this demo, I have set up the system to output the invoices in XML format. So one of the invoices that's been processed while we're talking. So here you have an actual outputted XML file from one of the invoices has been processed, and as you see, this is no rocket science. It's basically all the information that was on the invoices, and this could also be set up to, instead of doing the XML, you can output it to a database if you would like.